The new BLOXBURG map is getting closer and closer, so today I'm going to be showing you everything you need to do before the BLOXBURG map revamp, with a checklist of everything to visit before it changes for your final tour of the original BLOXBURG map. Hey glossettes, welcome back. How are you guys doing today? Now, as you heard in the intro, we all know by now a BLOXBURG map revamp is just around the corner, as it was confirmed to be happening this summer, and now it's June. We only have a 3-month span this could happen in, as obviously summer is June, July, and August. However, as someone who's been playing BLOXBURG for nearly 10 years, I really wanted to revisit everything before it goes, which is why I'm in my tourist outfit, as you can see here, as we are pretty much going on a sightseeing trip today, looking at the current map and showing you how you can visit everything before the map looks completely different. Now, what I've actually done is created 2 different checklists that list absolutely everything I could think of to do in the current map. The first checklist is basically just all of the locations in the map, and then the second one is more like a list of all the activities and things you should actually do, including things like finding all of the current Easter eggs in this map as well. And I do want to know, it does say things like, you know, visit the town hall or go to the theater and watch a movie. I just thought it would be cool to visit absolutely everything in the current map whilst it still looks like that. Like, you're never gonna visit, for example, Pizza Planet in this specific map again. But you, of course, don't have to do everything on these lists if you don't want to. However, it is useful just to check over things you might have forgotten about, as it might be your last time to ever see them. As per usual, the checklist will be linked below on a Google document for you to download or screenshot, as well as being on screen now. So feel free to take those if you need them, and also please ignore this Minecraft vlog behind me. But anyways, let's get into the video. Let's get on with our tour, starting with section 1 of the tour, the town. The BLOXBURG town is one of the busiest areas of the map, and although it's kinda tiny with a total of 10 buildings, there is a lot to visit, a lot to do, and I want to see everything before we have a whole new one. The first thing on the list is to explore all of the buildings. However, what I'm gonna do is basically go around each building one by one, do a shift in the ones that have jobs, and also do anything else they might have to offer, like shopping or something. Honestly, this feels like a BLOXBURG speedrun. But for the first step, let's park our car in the car park here. I'm actually gonna park properly today. You know what? We're gonna drive all the way to the top. This thing is so hard to drive around, first of all. Here we go. Let me just park here. Okay, perfect. And then we're just, you know, gonna hop down here. But let's start with BLOXBURGers. It's honestly weird looking at this when this is meant to be, you know, some sort of nostalgic tour because this was revamped 2 years ago. But who cares? I mean, they did do a great job though. The first thing I'm gonna do is a very quick shift where I'm literally just gonna do, I guess, one task of each area. So a quick order over here. Let's go back here and make an order. Honestly, this is the most fun job the game has. I'm so looking forward to when they eventually revamp the rest of them. Do you know how good like a revamped ice cream game would be? There we go. Order done. We have now completed a shift at the burger place. Now I'm gonna get some food of my own. We are gonna grab a burger, obviously. It's also crazy that it has been 2 years since they revamped this, not gonna lie. We are gonna be looking at like the old burger place in my next video. I'm posting like a final goodbye video, I guess, to the map, where I'm gonna talk about stuff like the history of the map and things like that. But yeah, this new one is definitely an upgrade though. Moving on, we are gonna head to the little green clean over here and do a quick shift in the janitor job. Hello, Glenn. Cheery as always. Okay, let's go and clean some of this up. You see, it's things like this that I wonder how they're gonna do it in like the new map, because obviously I guess this is kind of like dirt and graffiti on other buildings, so I don't know. It's just gonna be cool to see, I guess, like the current buildings and jobs in like a new area, I guess. I'm so excited for the new map, and this is coming from someone who like adores the current map. Okay, there we go. Like maybe Glenn will get like an upgrade or something from this tiny little store. Next up, we have styles, which is another one that definitely needs an upgrade. This is so kind of empty. I actually, in my movie last year, Glossbusters, that I made like a mini version of the town for the set, and I really like the way I built styles. Anyways, let's quickly do someone's hair. Hang on, I need to go behind here, don't I? Okay, here we go. Also, can we talk about how good the new UI is for like the job thing? Hello, please give me, okay, we're gonna give her a haircut. Where is it? All done. Finally can get out these purple clothes. And then we have BFF Supermarket, and this is another very nostalgic building that pretty much has not been renovated at all. We are desperate for a new supermarket, I swear. Of course, this one actually has 2. Oh my gosh, there's a butterfly in here. What are you doing in here? Anyways, of course, this one actually has 2 jobs. So before we do a little shopping of our own, we are gonna do a shift in each of them. So we're gonna complete the first one, which is the stalker job back here. This area just reminds me of when they hid like an elf in the elephant behind these boxes. Anyways, we are gonna, let's stock this up. up. Here we go. And then we can come in here and we can scan some shopping. So let me just put some bags out. Here we go. There you go. Also, the NPCs in Bloxburg are so nostalgic. Like, this is so kind of like 2016. Look at the Pac-Man shirts. I wonder if the NPCs will get like an upgrade in the new map. I'm hoping so. But anyways, now we've done our shift, we are going to grab a trolley from this very dark, unlit corner, and we are going to do some shopping of our own. This feels like a roleplay, honestly. I always thought the products in here were weird though, because we have like a can of beans, we have some crisps, the rest of it is pretty much just fruit, and then we have like 3 different drinks options and cheese that you can't even buy. Like, it's always been such a kind of like weird selection of items. We're gonna buy kind of one of each though. Oh, we have got one little update in here though. We got this like last year or the year before, like a birthday cake section, but that's literally it. It's been the same since 2016 except that. Can I even buy it? Okay, wait, here we go. Very interesting selection of items here. Anyways, next up we have the Bloxburg gym. Now, of course, this was revamped in 2023 as well, so it's a lot more detailed, a lot more actually interesting to go inside of. Here is our lovely gym. I forget how absolutely like amazing this looks. We're gonna do a little workout. I think we're gonna do it in the yoga room because this is my favorite room. We're gonna pick the pink mat over here. Okay, here we go. Let's do some yoga. So relaxing. Wow. I can't tell if this is yoga or gymnastics. Oh my goodness. This is gymnastics. This is not yoga. You're not telling me they do headstands to relax. I guess that's our workout done. But here we have probably the most iconic building in the town hall, which is actually called the Bloxburg City Hall, but I don't think I've called it that once. And this building does actually have an Easter egg in it that we're gonna find. But if we go inside, first of all, we have the library, which was actually only added in 2022. We had a library back in 2016 at the very start of the game, but then it was actually removed, and then they re-added it in the April Fool's School update. But it's super cozy in here, and we also have another side to the library in this side, obviously, and then the rest of the doors lead to nowhere. Hopefully, we will get a revamp in here. I think it would be cool to have more, like, I don't know, historical Bloxburg things in here, maybe an office. But if you actually look through the doors here, we do have an Easter egg. So if you like angle your camera, you can see some text on the wall, which actually says Dom was here. And this appeared like early last year, and we never got any information on what this meant. We don't know who Dom is, and it's been driving me crazy ever since. But anyways, we are gonna check the next thing off our list, which is to read a book in the library. So we're just gonna grab one of these. This book is analyzing literature, and it has Coeptus on the cover. Oh my gosh, what is this? Becoming the Frog, Froggy Hops. He has like a Bloxburg book about himself. Next, we have another new building, which got added in the last few days of December last year, which is obviously the new theater that got added in the place of the old club. And the theater is another building that has a couple of Easter eggs in it too, which we're gonna look at. But first, we are gonna watch a movie. More specifically, hopefully my own movie, The Heist here, which you guys should totally go and watch, by the way. But I don't think it's gonna be on anytime soon. But the time trap is in like 17 seconds, so let's hurry in here. We need to get some popcorn, obviously. Let me grab this, recline my seat. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. This is another cute one. I really like this one. It's about like a time machine. It's actually crazy how like the things we've made are now in the game, but like the fact one of my movies is in here is so cool, and all of them are so well made as well. Like, I highly recommend coming and just watching all of them. But yeah, that was the time trap by Fairy Ethan and Fairy Lay, I think that said. 10 out of 10. But anyways, we are gonna go and now look at the little Easter eggs that are around the theater. The first one is actually out of the front, and it's not that cool of an Easter egg. It doesn't really relate to anything. However, it's still... Okay, where is it? Oh my gosh, wait, no, it's been removed. So there used to be binoculars that would sit in the trees and look out this way, but it was because we had the movie premiere, and that's what it was looking at. But now the movie premiere is removed. They removed the binoculars. Okay, never mind. There's only one Easter egg, but the next one is the most important one, as it is an Easter egg for the old theater. So if you go out the back of the theater and you climb, club, I said theater, didn't I? Anyways, if you climb up the back of the theater, there is an Easter egg for the old Beats Club. If you go all the way into the attic, we actually have the Beats sign up here, which is so cute. I'm really glad they kept it up here, so there is still something from the club. Next, we have what I would say is the most hated building in the town, that some people would be very happy to see removed, which is fancy furniture. Poor Susan, she doesn't deserve the hate, bless her. Anyways, the task I wrote down for this one is to buy some furniture, but honestly, I don't think I want any of this. Okay, you know what? I will just get this one, this nice plant. This is the most modern thing they have. You can tell they really haven't updated this building once since 2016. It's so old. Like, Coeptus, you know, we love you, but this is just, yeah. Anyways, thanks, Susan, I guess. Let me get out of here. Anyways, next, we have the beloved Pizza Planet. Another icon in the town. It definitely deserves a revamp, though. But if they did a revamp, I don't know what they would do. I guess they'd make it bigger and stuff, but like, would they keep the kind of round shape? I don't know how it would work, but it would be cute to see like a proper little pizzeria type thing. Anyways, let's get to work in here. I remember years ago, I used to have like such a high level of the pizza maker like job here. But if any of you are old players like me, then you'll know we actually had a feature back then where you could reset all of your BLOXBURG progress, which for some reason I did. So I kind of wiped it at one point. I don't know why I felt the need to start again. One of my favorite parts about this job as well is watching the pizza go all the way around the conveyor belt. I have no idea why I find it so cool. Look at it go. They better keep this. They better keep the kind of long conveyor belt if they revamp this. Look at it. It's cooking. Oh, there we go. Oh my gosh, look at that. That's beautiful. Anyways, let's do a shift on the other job we have in here, which is of course the pizza delivery. Let me get on my little moped. I'm hoping it's not that far away. I think it's just over here, which is very convenient because it's right next to our next building. There we go. There's your pizza. Oh wait, I have to go back to Pizza Planner anyways because we have another task over here. Now we finish our shifts. The final thing is to get a pizza of our own. So I am going to grab a, excuse me, I'm going to grab a pizza slice. And can you sit on these chairs? You can. I swear you never used to be able to. But anyways, we are going to eat our pizza here. And now we have our final building in the town, which is Mike's Motors, which is another very unchanged building for the most part. It is very plain inside. Before we head in though, we are going to complete a shift in the job over here. We're going to fix someone's bike. Okay, they want new wheels. Let me look at the picture. Okay, I've forgotten already. Okay, middle ones, I think. Change front wheel and then change the back wheel. There we go. That is our shift complete. So we are going to head inside Mike's Motors. And honestly, I always forget Mike's here. I always forget he's, you know, chilling in here. But this is Mike's Motors, of course. Definitely needs a glow up. But next, what I'm going to do is very quickly climb up here and grab my car. And we are going to refuel it here at Gas Blocks before we head off to our next section. Honestly, there is quite a nice view from the car parking garage as well. I know people kind of hate it, but it's a nice little platform. Obviously, we have to fly off the ramp though. Okay, let's pull in here and then fuel our car. Will it not? Oh, there we go. Just pretend that there's like fuel going into the car, okay? This video is making me feel like a role player. Anyways, the last task we have to do in the town is to sit on a park bench and cry. We have this big park area next to the town with some benches, but we also have the mini kind of park, I guess, grass area that runs down the center of the map with a ton of benches, an unnecessary amount of benches. But you know what? Let's go to the park area and sit on one of those ones. Here we go. We can just sit and, you know, look at the mountain, look at the Ferris wheel and everything, and cry over the looming map revamp, which I'm gonna miss this map so much. But honestly, not gonna lie, like I am gonna miss this map obviously, but I'm so excited for a new one. But at the same time, I'm gonna be like so upset over this one. Like I tweeted about this. It's like I'm either really excited or really upset, but obviously it has to change eventually. We can't keep the same thing forever. It needs a revamp, and it's really nice that they're putting more life into BLOXBURG for the new players as well. Obviously, I've seen the map revamp as well, so I can confirm I do love it, but I'm still always gonna miss this one. But in a way, I feel like when people think about BLOXBURG, they think about it in a nostalgic way anyways. Like it kind of feels like the game, this map and everything is already old or not in the game, I guess, because every post you see about it is people being like, oh, nostalgia, and it kind of doesn't make sense when it's still in the game. So it is in a way kind of nice that it's finally gonna be replaced and removed, and it's kind of just gonna be a memory in a weird way. I don't know if that sounds absolutely crazy or not, but yeah, here we go, sitting on a park bench and crying. Anyways, we are gonna move on to section 2 of this tour, which is the beach. This is one of my favorite areas of the map. It also has 2 Easter eggs in it now, including a trophy, which is pretty cool. I'm just gonna park my car quickly. The first thing we're gonna do is a little bit of fishing, which is yet another underrated job. Let me grab a fishing rod in here. We're gonna go down here and try and catch a fish. I always mess up on this one. It kind of reminds me of like the Minecraft fishing mechanic. Oh no, I caught one as soon as I went into free cam. Oh no. Okay, here we go. We're fishing. There we go. Okay, we got a fish. We got a yellow one. Next, we have Ben's ice cream, which I'm pretty sure is based on like a real location. People always post this like American ice cream thing that looks very similar to it, that apparently it was inspired by. This was also the first BLOXBURG job I ever did, I'm pretty sure. So we're gonna go in here and make an ice cream for someone. Okay, they want chocolate, and I think that's nuts. Okay, let me grab this. 2 scoops of chocolate and then 1 scoop of this. And then we are gonna go out here and actually get some ice cream of our own before we ride the Ferris wheel. So I'm gonna get chocolate because that's the only right answer. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, a revamped ice cream job is something I have wanted for years. If they did it kind of inspired by like the Moshi Monster ones, like kind of mini games like that, it would be so fun. But let's go and ride the Ferris wheel with this. And I'm not too sure if it's gonna work or not, because I was trying to ride this the other day and it wasn't letting me sit down. Yeah, see, it doesn't work. It just teleports you to like standing on it. Oh yes, what a fun ride. This is great. This is very, oh. Okay. Oh my gosh, wait, no, the bottom one will just catch me. I could stand here forever and it'd just be a loop. Anyways, let's go to the beach over here and, you know, relax on the beach for our next task. I do look very tropical right now with this kind of Hawaiian shirt, so it kind of works pretty well. I also love the beach area since they revamped it, I think last year or the year before. I also love that they didn't remove the ability to be able to kick people's sandcastles over. There we go. We can do some relaxing on the beach. We also have a task that is to see the crabs, and I have just spotted one over here. So there's actually these little crabs that will pop up from the sand and do a little dance from the crab rave video thing. Look at them. They're so cute. Oh, he's going back under, but they're very adorable. They'll kind of pop up now and then if you just kind of wait and look along the sand. But the next thing to do is go for a little dip in the sea, and there is actually 2 Easter eggs in the sea itself. So we are gonna go and find these 2. Here's hoping that the new map has a better ocean than this. Once we found the Easter eggs, we are gonna swim all the way to the end to just the absolute void drop over there. Anyways, the first Easter egg we have is actually a SpongeBob Easter egg, and what this is it's a pineapple and a sponge, which is somewhere in the middle of the ocean. I kind of know where it is, so let me just look. I know kind of where it is when I look at the Ferris wheel. It's like right in the middle somewhere, unless they've removed it for some reason. Okay, so after like half an hour, I finally found the pineapple, the SpongeBob Easter egg down here. So as you can see, it's pretty much just a pineapple with a sponge next to it, obviously because this is meant to be SpongeBob, but I swear they moved this because it used to be, I swear, like directly in front of the pier thing here, but now it's all the way over there. Like, I swear this has been moved, but yeah, pretty much if you want to try and find it, it's on this side, kind of this far out. I do recommend coming and trying to find this because, oh my gosh, there's a crab. Wait, Mr. Krabs is here, guys. Anyways, yeah, I do recommend trying to find this, as this may be the last time we ever see it. We don't know if they're gonna put this in the new map as an Easter egg or have like a brand new different Easter egg in the ocean. Who knows? But what we're gonna do now is swim over to the cliffs to get the shell trophy. So to get the shell trophy, you actually have to find a shell in the ocean which spawns next to the cliffs along here. Now I can't actually remember what part of the cliff it's on, but I do actually have a video up where I show you guys how to get it. Hang on, you know what? Let me go and watch my own tutorial so I can see where it is. It'd be cool to get it for the video. Okay, I've just watched my own tutorial on it from like last year, and apparently it spawns kind of like around here, like on this area. Let me zoom out so you can see where I mean. So if you stand here next to this specific kind of place in the cliffs, you should be able to see the shell spawns. What I'm gonna do is pretty much just wait here and wait for it to spawn. Okay, wait, I think yeah, I saw it spawn over here. Let me swim over. So this is what the shell looks like. Oh my god, I thought it disappeared for a second. Okay, this is what it looks like. We have found the shell and it spawns right here. If you click on this like this, you will get the giant seashell trophy, but that is pretty much how you get that, which is pretty fun to get. And I do recommend, of course, getting one of those before the map revamp, just in case we never see that trophy again. But that is both of the Easter eggs in the ocean. So now the last thing for us to do is swim all the way to the end of the ocean, to the big kind of drop at the end. As you can see, the walls on both sides just stop, and then we just have like this big void in the middle. But here we go. It is right here, and I haven't been here in ages, but I think the water kind of like, yeah, it hangs off the side a little bit. You can kind of float, but this is what it looks like. This is what the end of the ocean looks like. Just this huge kind of cut off in the ocean, and you can fall off and reset. However, I'm not going to do that because I do have the rest of the video to film. But yeah, you can just jump off. But this is like the last thing in the ocean section of the checklist. Just swim to the end of the ocean. So now what I'm going to do is swim all the way back so we can continue on with our next section. Oh my god. Oh no. I very nearly just swam off. Okay, we are gonna head over here because the next section of the map tour is Bloxy Acres, which is of course the estate that is behind Pizza Planet. Now there isn't a lot to actually do here, obviously, because it is just like the plot areas. However, I do have go on a nostalgic walk down the street written down. Kinda didn't think this one through because I have my car with me, but oh well, let's go. I also have written down to look at houses. However, I am in a server completely by myself, so I'm just gonna have to imagine them, I guess. I wonder what the new estates will look like though, if they're gonna, you know, like keep the same names or maybe have some new names. I think new estate names would be fun, but it would also be really cute if they did keep, you know, like Bloxy Acres and Riverside estates. They've also said that there is a possibility we are getting more plots, so yeah, it'll be really interesting to see what the new kind of plot areas look like. Okay, now I'm gonna have to walk all the way back to my car. We are gonna move on to section 4 down this way, which is the highway, and to be honest, I only really go up here when it's the elf hunt and I'm looking all over the map for the elves, but we are gonna go take a look. So this is obviously the big highway area that we're runs around the entire back of the map. And the first thing we're gonna do is check out GLOSSIES, which is the little service station. I feel like a lot of people forget about this one as well, but it is pretty cute. It's a really nice kind of little addition to the map up here. If you go inside, of course, we have like a mini version of BFF supermarket almost. You can buy some food, and you can also buy like a hot dog, coffee, tea, hot chocolate from this worker here who looks like Glenn's sister, not gonna lie. We're gonna get hot chocolate just because why not? But the next thing we have to do is actually back where we came from. So there's actually these dark neighborhood tunnels on either side of the highway. You can see, hang on, let me move that tree out of the way. You can see the one on the other side all the way over there. And then we have this one, and we have on the list to walk inside of these. I don't really know why, because it's kind of pointless, but I just added it anyways. So you can actually go into the darkness. This neighborhood thing will pop up, but you can click the X and then you are just in the dark tunnel. I can actually get a light. Here we go. So this is just like a hiding space in the tunnel. Once again, I kind of only go in this when they hide elves in here. Very good spot if you're playing like hide and seek around the map. But let's go over here. We are going to keep going, and we are going to just drive all the way down the highway. It's mostly just trees. However, we do have like ramps you can kind of drive over and some billboard advertisements. We're going to try and find one of the ramps. They're kind of like, oh, there's one here. Okay, we need to go over one. It would be much better if they had some kind of boost, because I feel like it's really anticlimactic. But the next thing on the list is actually to do a night at the campsite, which is over here of this dirt road. And we did actually get a campsite kind of revamp last year, so the campsite is a lot more interesting to kind of visit now. So we are going to spend a quick little evening here. Hang on, I need to make this a bit more accurate. Where is my time thing? Okay, there we go. This is much better. But yeah, this area is so much more exciting now. There's so many different little things in here. We have like a trampoline. I love all the fairy lights. There's like this kind of shed thing over here. We have the fireflies, but it's not camping without making some s'mores. So we are gonna roast some marshmallows. Oh my gosh, the lighting's so cute. Here we go. We can eat this quickly. It's kind of boring camping by yourself actually. But anyways, I have mentioned this before. I don't know if I've mentioned it in this video, but this whole area, so if I zoom up here, it's kind of hard to see now I've made it nighttime, but this whole motorway area, this whole extension of the map back here, and the observatory, which we're gonna look at in a second, this never used to be in the map until I think 2018. And I remember at the time I absolutely hated it when they added it, because not because it was bad, like it was great they were expanding the map and giving us more room, but I just hated the fact that it was different. And of course a lot of people are gonna feel the exact same about the map revamp, which is even bigger than the whole like highway extension. That was just a tiny kind of extension. This is a whole new map we're getting, so it's okay for you guys to feel kind of really weird about it, and to some degree kind of not wanting it to change, but at the same time it's kind of like it needs to, and it's gonna be, you know, like a great exciting map. It's okay to feel a bit weird about it for a while. I think we're all going to. It's just different. It doesn't feel weird because the new map will be bad or anything. It just feels weird because it's completely new. Like no matter how amazing or how terrible they could make the new map, people are always going to feel a bit weird about it because it's brand new and we've had the same map for 9 years. So just give yourself time to, you know, adjust to it. I feel like I've already said that this video, but whatever. Anyways, what we're going to do is we are going to hop into our tent and just have a little bit of a snooze until the next morning. And by the next morning, I mean, I'm just going to set my time back to what it was. There we go. We have completed a night at the camp. I don't know why this is reminding me of that really popular kind of like scary story game, Camping, in like 2020 that we all used to play. But now it's magically the next morning. We are going to finish our drive down the rest of the highway and go to section 5, the next section. There is actually one more cool thing I want to see up here. We have a burger sign there. That is not the cool thing, I promise. But if you go over here next to the tunnel, this is the kind of entrance to Welcome to Bloxburg. It says, "Welcome to Bloxburg, the best town in Robloxia, population 50, and then established 2016, which is when the game released." Now, the reason the population says 50 is because neighborhoods used to kind of cap at 50, and then they changed it to 75, and they didn't update this number. But yeah, that is everything on the highway area. And now what we're gonna do is head down to the observatory for section 5 and take a look at the observatory in the kind of cliff area. Now, to get to this, what you want to do is go to Riverside and then just go through this tunnel. It genuinely still feels like yesterday when all of this got added, but here we go. This is the observatory area. I'm gonna park my car very quickly. Now, there's actually a couple Easter eggs up here, but the first one is actually outside of the observatory, which is right over here next to the tunnel entrance, and this is the noob. I think we're all familiar with him at this point, especially after kind of his involvement in the elf hunt, but the noob is just a little Roblox noob character who sits down here. He is very cute. I do recommend seeing him because, you know, they might not add him in the new one and then I'll cry, but he's very adorable. He just chills chills there. But what we're going to do now is explore the observatory. It is such a fun building, and of course before the revamp you didn't actually used to be able to go inside of this until now. But if we walk in here, we have Mr. Dr. Astro Bloxitus. Bloxitus. He just chills here. He is kind of, you know, he has a very long beard. But yeah, we are gonna explore this building, and one of the first things we have is these really cool planets that kind of rotate around the sun here. We have an area upstairs we're gonna look at in a second, but on the left we have like this kind of lecture hall, so you can sit here. You can't actually sit here, but you can, I guess, stand. There's like a little podium. You can come down here and, you know, speak about space and stuff. This actually changes, so it has like a slideshow of pictures at play. And then if we go to the right side, we have the library, which is actually another really pretty kind of area. I love how it looks in here. I love the bookshelves. However, we are gonna come back in here in a second because there is actually a secret room. There's a secret Easter egg in this room. But what we're gonna do first is head back into the main area and actually go up these stairs because there's cool stuff up here as well. One of the first things we have is all of these star signs around the walls, which is really cool. So there's so many different ones. Oh my god, Draco. So we have all of that, and then what we have here in the middle of the room is this giant telescope, which we are going to look through for our next task. So if you actually go up to it and click on it, you can use it, and if it'll load, you can look around the constellations, which is really cool, and kind of find all of the ones that are on the walls. And this does actually open the top of the observatory. Obviously you can't see it because I am in it, but if I exit out of this, you can very quickly see the roof close up again, which is so cool. But back into the library, I'm going to show you where the Easter egg is in here. But first, we do have another task in here, and it's kind of a really random one. So what I like to do is run on the globe. If you jump on it and start moving, it'll start rotating, and I don't know, I just find it very entertaining to come in here and kind of like run around on this. But now I'm going to show you where to find the secret room, the Easter egg in here, and it's actually really easy. So if you look at these two bookcases on this wall and you click on this one, you can open this and go down this dark staircase to the moon room. So if you go into here, as you can see, we are now on the moon. The earth is there, and this actually has like 0 gravity, so you can jump really high and kind of float around. It's really fun. I feel like people forget this is here. And before we move on to the next section, we are gonna do one final thing, which is kind of just looking off across the ocean. It's a pretty nice view from up here as well. You can kind of see like the beach and everything, just standing. Oh my gosh, I look so small just standing on the cliffs. Anyways, let's drive back through the tunnel and head to section 6 Riverside Estates, which is of course the other estate area. Here we go. So once again, I don't have any houses to look at, so we're just gonna take a nice walk through here. This is actually my favorite estate now, I think, because it used to be the pizza side one, but this definitely has the best lighting for filming, which is why my plot is here. What we're also gonna do is walk over here to the river and have a nice kind of stroll along here and try and catch some bugs. So if you can see, there's like bugs floating around. There's butterflies and dragonflies. There was 2 over here and they've just disappeared. I see a butterfly. Okay, wait. Oh my gosh, we got it. Okay, we got a uncommon number 4. But here we have our nice river area. Hopefully we will get kind of a cooler looking river in the new map than this one. I'm definitely not going to miss this kind of sewage looking thing over here, or accidentally falling into this in my car all the time. But that's pretty much everything to look at on Riverside, which means we only have one section of the map left, the mountain, which also has the last 2 Easter eggs in the game, which we're also going to find. So the first thing on the checklist is to go over this wooden bridge. Now this is actually one of my favorite areas of the map. I just think this bridge is adorable. I feel like it's an underrated kind of feature of the map. I just think it's so cute. I love kind of like little wooden bridges. But now we're on this side at the bottom of the mountain. Before we actually climb the mountain itself, we need to do the 2 jobs at the bottom. So over here we have lovely lumber, which is of course our little kind of lumberjack job, and I actually love this kind of contraption. Like, does anyone else find this thing really satisfying for no reason? We are gonna go over here and quickly cut down a tree. Just grab an axe. We're gonna chop this down. Oh my god, look at the particles kind of flying off. But now that's done, we only have one job left, which is inside the BLOXBURG cave here, and I'm so excited to see how they'll do this in the new map. I feel like a cave would be kind of like a really cool thing to add more detail to. But if we walk under here, there's actually an Easter egg in here as well, by the way. So we have a job and the Easter egg. This is the mining job. We have Minnie the miner here, and what we're gonna do is just mine into the floor like this for this kind of achievement, I guess. Okay, is this broken or what? I've like hit this thing like 20 times. Oh, you have to click on it and click mine. I'm such an idiot. But that is the mining job. You pretty much just mine down here. I think you find like TNT sometimes in different ores. However, the Easter egg that's down here is actually like right below the floor, kind of in this spot. So to find it, you can mine all the way down. However, I cannot be bothered to do that, so we are going to cheat and use free cam. But pretty much if you go down here into the ground, like you have to mine all the way down down here. So all the way down here, you will eventually get to this crack in the wall. And if we look through, you actually see a bunch of noobs worshipping ticks, which is the old Roblox currency. I feel like people forget about this Easter egg all the time, but yeah, this is actually down here as well. I'm pretty sure it is possible to find by mining all the way down, but that is pretty much everything in the cave. We have now seen everything except the mountain. So all we have left to do is climb the mountain, go on the gliders, and find the final secret Easter egg in the game. Now, the first achievement on the list is to try and drive up the mountain and fail terribly, because I feel like you are not climbing this thing right if you don't try and drive up. Okay, I've kind of got myself stuck already. Anyways, as I was saying, you are not climbing this right if you don't do a terrible job trying to drive up and then eventually abandon your vehicle. I'm not getting very far at all. Oh. Okay, there we go. Oh, okay. There we go. We're on to the next step now. We can abandon the car and run all the way up. As cool as the mountain is, it's definitely an interesting design. So I feel like we'll probably get a much more realistic one if they have a mountain in the new map, because this is kind of not the most realistic mountain I've ever seen, but we're going to climb all the way up. Here we have the top of the BLOXBURG mountain. We have reached the top. Here we go. This is what it looks like. It gives us a very nice view of the town below, and we also have the gliders. Now, one of the next things on the list is to glide over the map, and we're going to do that, but we're not going to do it just yet because we actually need to use the gliders to find the very last Easter egg. What we're going to do is we're going to find that, and then I'll come back and we will do like a final kind of glide over the town and everything. But before that, of course, let's talk about the Easter egg, and the one we're going to be finding is of course the secret decal. What else? I feel like people forgot about this one until they used it for the duck hunt, and then everyone kind of discovered it again. But what you actually need to do is grab a glider and then glide directly to the map wall in this direction. So you don't want to spin around or anything or lose any of the height you have. You just want to go directly this way. And then when we get to here, we are just gonna wait until we're over a bit more and then jump down. And now what we have to do is the most boring part of this, which is run all the way along this entire map boundary until we get to the back of the mountain. Like I said, people kind of rediscovered this with the duck hunt because they did actually hide a secret duck with the secret decal. And I saw a lot on TikTok at the time. People were kind of finding ways to fling themselves up with their car in like a pool to like cheat and just jump up there, but I feel like I have to do it, you know, the hard way. We have to walk all the way around. It's only right to do this one more time. See you guys in like 20 minutes. Okay, finally, I've made it all the way around. So once you get to this point, what you want to do is head just along this, and you should be able to see that kind of gap like under the map. There's like a little gap in the wall, and that's basically where we're going, and the secret decal is hidden inside there, and it's really scary to kind of jump down into because I'm always scared I'm just gonna fall. But oh my god, how did I'm like hanging off the edge by like the tiniest bit of my foot. Okay, we're just gonna jump. Oh my god, okay, here we go. And if you go in here, we have the secret decal which says oh hey, and it's a picture of a Roblox noob or maybe Queptus, we don't know, but this is the decal. It's been here for years. It's so old, and honestly it's gonna be interesting to see as well. Is this gonna be in the new map? Are they just gonna move it or something? Or maybe it would be nice if it's just kind of left in the old one and we never see it again and it's kind of special because it was in this one. I don't know, but this is how you find it. I'm gonna take my annual picture next to it. Let me get a lamp out my backpack. Okay, now I'm getting emotional. But now we've had a look at this, we are gonna reset quickly. I'm gonna jump down and I will see you guys when I'm back at the gliders for our final glide over the map. Okay, here we are. It's time for our final task to glide over the map, and neither of these are pink, which is kind of annoying, but we're gonna go with this one, and we are gonna go and glide and just kind of look over everything. I do love the gliding feature. It's really fun. I used to love using it to kind of get on top of people's houses, but here we go. This is one of the final looks at the BLOXBURG map, even though it's not revamping just yet. At the time I'm filming this and hopefully posting it, it is the 15th of June, so we'll just have to wait and see. Maybe the map has revamped by the time you're watching this. Maybe it's just about to, but I will miss this town. I will miss this map. I have been playing for so long, and although I'm gonna miss it terribly, obviously it needs to change. We can't stay the same forever. It's gonna be nice that this will finally be gone so it is nostalgic, and players will finally get a new map like they've been wanting. We'll get a fresh look on the game. I don't know why I just landed here, but yeah, it'll be nice to have a brand new exciting map, which also is incredible. But that is pretty much it for this video. That is everything to do in BLOXBURG before the map is gone, and I cannot wait until the new map is here and we have another one to tour and look around. I'm so proud of the devs for all of the hard work they've been putting into the game. I'm so excited for its future, and of course we will always love and appreciate the past 9 years we've had with this map. But that is it for today's video. I feel like this is long enough, so as usual, a huge shout out to all my channel members, nitro boosters, and merch buyers. All your names will be on screen now. Thank you so much for joining the channel, boosting the Discord server, and of course buying my real life merch. I love you all, and in general I love you all so much, glossettes. XOXO GLOSSIE.